Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you another 1v1 Starcraft 2 cast, even. Today, this time on Antigua Shipyard. This time it is a TVZ. Cool, in the bottom left-hand corner we have a Jamjam, who is the uploader of said video today. And in the bottom right-hand corner we have MrKnister, who I will just call Knister, even though MrKnister, you know, it's got a nice ring to it. Let's be honest, yes it does. Awesome, so this is, as I have said previously, a TVZ. Good freaking times. Cool, and it looks like Jamjam will probably be blocking off the top of his ramp, as is very customary when Terrans decide to play Zerg. Well, against Zerg, or Protoss players, for that matter. Hey-ho comes from Jamjam, always the gentleman, or at least I presume, as he did upload this. And a bottle of rum. Brilliant. Cool, good stuff. Wow, this is really So we have a pirate on our hands, apparently, from MrKnister right now. And I really do like MrKnister. That's a really groovy, funky name. So we don't have the barracks down, it's just going down right about now, yeah, from Jamjam. 12 supply, which again is fairly rudimentary, fairly normal for our player. On the other hand, MrKnister hasn't actually done anything yet. It does actually look like maybe he's going to go hatch first. Yeah, he is going to go hatch first, so there we are. I expect that hatch is going to go down any second now. So that is a relatively economic timed hatchery to get. And you can't really complain about. Let's just take it to the supply tab. The supply tab, the production tab. Cool beans. So we are getting a refinery as well. If we saw another refinery going on soon, then we would know that maybe Jamjam is going for some sort of mech play against his opponent, MrKnister, today. But MrKnister is being very cheeky and doing some, what I like to call overlord micro, even though they are so slow that they can't micro away from anything. So there we are, MrKnister with his overlord micro. And of course, we do have a marine coming out from Jamjam right now, but he really does want to probably be starting the orbital command as soon as he can. Meanwhile, he is actually doing a bunker push, which is a pretty aggressive play. I expect we're going to see some marines loaded into it pretty soon. And the question is, no, MrKnister has not actually seen this bunker yet, so that's pretty interesting to know. Meanwhile, we do have this marine absolutely sprinting across the map, going and wants to be quickly inhabiting that bunker. But here we go. I mean, MrKnister does not actually know of the bunker's existence until right that split second just there. And here we are. I do think that marine is probably going to get loaded in here, and as the spawning pool from Jamjam has only just got up, this bunker could make a lot of damage happen pretty quickly. Meanwhile, we do have MrKnister trying to stop the drones from doing a maximum amount of damage. Oh, is this marine going to get in the bunker? Oh, of course he is. Excellent. And that pretty much renders the hatchery more or less useless from MrKnister for the moment, seeing as he will need more than 4 Zerglings to take this out in an effective manner, even though he is just one man in one bunker with one SCV repairing it. And oh, there's another man. And we do have a sorry from Jamjam, as yes, some people do feel that this kind of play is a little bit cheesy. And I'm sure pretty soon we're going to see maybe perhaps the downfall of said bunker. I mean, definitely the SCV is dead, but it's going to take more Zerglings than this to actually kill the bunker. But there we go, the bunker is being salvaged, which is definitely the wise choice from Jamjam, salvaging that bunker. I mean, not a bad play, actually. I really don't find that kind of play as cheesy as many people find, you know, obviously photon cannons, proxy gate, stuff like that, six pulls. You know, it's a slightly different level of cheese. Bunker plays take a little bit more skill than all of those things to actually pull off. Therefore, you know what, yes, it's cheese, but it's still acceptable in my book, to be perfectly honest. I don't know, that's just what I believe. So it does look like we're going to see some Hellion play coming out now from Jamjam. That's been made very popular by very good professional players such as DeMuslim. And of course he's going to try and get in there with those Hellions and try and roast away as many of the drones that would be at the natural expansion, but they're not yet because obviously he hasn't you know, saturated it just yet. And they're going to try and get in there and roast them away as quickly as humanly possible. And yes, you know, let's just see how this pans out. It will be pretty fun to see how this pans out. Obviously, the automaton there is stunned by all of the war and devastation that's happening around him. And here we go. So, right, we do have the Hellions taking out a Zergling, nearly inadvertently taking a Creep Tumor, which, of course, will be hidden to Jamjam right now. And he could maybe perhaps just run straight into the main base of MrKnister and do some damage right there. But he would, in essence, maybe be just sacrificing his Hellions if he were to do that. Meanwhile, he is working on the Siege Tank upgrade. And, oh, unfortunately, that Hellion does get taken out, even though he does try to micro away. The micro actually relatively good for a silver level player from both players right now. Especially surprised earlier when the bunker got salvaged instead of just left to be destroyed. It's pretty good micro, really pretty good unit control, good thought all in all, so not a bad effort at all. Meanwhile, we do have a siege tank on the field and submarines as well, and also an expansion coming from Jamjam, because he's been suitably annoying to the Zerg player at this point that he can actually afford to expand. And the Zerg player, even though he has a third expansion, he still hasn't fully, well, barely saturated his natural, so there's barely any point really having a third expansion at all. Unfortunately, MrKnister, that is just what I kind of think. If you have an actual expansion and, you know, it's not in essence finished, just don't take it. And here we go. That's a lot of Zerglings on the field, though. And these Marines and Siege Tanks are going to want to be kind of careful, because, I mean, unless these Hellions get some really good shots off, those Zerglings will overrun this completely. An Overlord going down there from MrKnister, and this is it. The Zerglings not attacking at a very good angle at all, because they kind of get trapped right here. They don't get an easy surround, and it does look like Jamjam is actually just going to push straight into MrKnister's base right now as well. No, even a token Marauder joining the field. And here we go. I half expect to siege up and move into Jamjam's base. We do have roaches on the field right now, but it might be a little bit too little too late as the Marines from Jamjam just run in and do as much damage as they can. Oh wow, that was, you know, if you guys heard that sound that my computer just made, but there you are. And it does actually look like these siege tanks here will try and get focused down by MrKnister, but as I've said previously, it just seems a little bit too late, too little too late even. And even a mule being called down to do some quick repairs. And with the Overlords going down, I heavily expect that this is it for MrKnister. And there we go, GGing out of the game, always the gentleman. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks to Jamjam for uploading the video, and I hope it wasn't too hard for you to watch it all the way through, you know. But yeah, this is Friday after all, and this is where I cast games that are at a lower level, so it's silver, gold, platinum, diamond. I generally try and avoid casting Bronze League ones, because the first Friday that I did that, I tried to cast a Bronze League game, and quite frankly, the whole game didn't make any sense. So, there we are. I kind of find that from silver upwards, they begin to make a tad more sense and way more fun to cast. And to be honest, people don't cast lower league games enough. So that is what I am up to. Anyway, thanks again to Jamjam, and thanks again to our other player, MrKnister. May you rest in peace, Mr. Zerg. And thanks a lot. Cheers, bye-bye.